The severe stroke that Frank Fritz, a member of the American Pickers, suffered in 2022 has resulted in his death at the age of 60. On Tuesday, October 1, Mike Wolfe, Frank's longtime co-star and friend, broke the devastating news to his followers on Instagram. "It is with a broken heart that I share with all of you that Frank passed away last night," Mike, who is 60 years old, explained at the beginning of the article. "I have known Frank for more than half of my life, and what you have seen on television has always been what I have seen. He was a dreamer who was just as sensitive as he was witty. Frank had the ability to touch the hearts of a great number of people simply by being himself, and he did this in the same way that he did on camera. Someone once asked, who would have ever dreamed that we would be sharing the cockpit of a white cargo van in front of millions of people who were interested in our various adventures? Before the show, we would take off together to places we never knew existed with no destination in mind, and just the shared passion to discover something interesting and historic. We've been on countless trips and shared so many miles, and I feel blessed that I was there by his side when he took one last journey home," Mike said as he concluded the tribute. "What a wonderful experience it was to be with him. I shall miss you so terribly, friend, and I know that you are in a better place now. I love you with all my heart. Tributes Avram Co Stars." Danielle Colby, who served as Frank's co-star, paid tribute to him by posting a series of photographs. In her letter, she said, "Frank, I will miss your ability to make everyone laugh, your love for talking tattoos, and your epic collections, but what I will miss the most are those little glimpses of vulnerability that you would occasionally give me. Frank, you had a deep affection for your mother and your cat, and it was because of these things that we became close. Not only for all of these reasons, but also for a great many others, you will be missed. Street dog, may you rest in peace." The person who took over for Frank on American Pickers, Robbie Wolfe, expressed his sorrow by saying, "It is with a heavy heart that I am sad to say that my friend Frank Fritz passed away last night. You were all familiar with him from watching television, but I knew him from my time spent fishing, traveling, and by my family. My twin kids were blessed with him as their godfather. His charming grin was infectious, and his infectious laughter will be sorely missed. In the end, it was just time spent sitting on a fishing boat and having conversations about life. I have no doubt that you are in a better area. I love you, friend, and I hope that you are able to catch the big one. Until we meet again in paradise, I want you to keep the boat steady." Paying tribute to fans. The devastating news was met with reactions from fans, who expressed their admiration for the well-known television personality. "Mike, I am truly sorry for the loss you have suffered. Frank was such a significant part of your life and became an important figure in American culture as a result of your collaborative efforts with the show," one of your fans stated in their letter. Someone else remarked, "Oh man, I really despise hearing this so much. We had a great time getting to know him through your company." "I am so sorry to hear this news, Mike," wrote a third correspondent. "There was no doubt that we shared some laughs together, and he will be much missed." The stresses of health. In July of 2022, Frank was at home in Iowa when he suffered a stroke that caused him to spend time in and out of the hospital and undergo rehabilitation over the course of several years. A number of hospitalizations, including one for pneumonia, have been experienced by him. The United States Sun was informed by a source that Frank was improving daily, despite the medical setbacks he had experienced. "It is impossible to return to 100% after a stroke, but he is doing well." The United States Sun reported in 2023 that a friend of Frank's had earlier stated that he was aware of what was taking place. "You would be able to make a conversation with him if he were sitting here at this very now. The same old Frank is still around." After suffering a stroke, Frank was unable to move while using a wheelchair. It was revealed by the friend that although he is able to walk, he will always require the wheelchair because he is unable to walk for extended periods of time. "You basically lose motion," she said. His mobility was lost. Stroke can affect either the left or the right side of the body. In this case, it afflicted the right side. State of Tijuana. According to the United States Sun, a conservatorship petition was submitted for Frank in August of 2022, and his close friend Chris Davis was his guardian. Additionally, Midwestone Bank was Frank's conservator. The documents that were obtained by the United States Sun stated that Mr. Fritz's decision-making capacity is so impaired as a result of his stroke that he is unable to care for his own safety or to provide for necessities such as food, shelter, clothing, or medical care, without which physical injury or illness may occur. According to the statement, Mr. Fritz's decision-making capacity is so impaired that he is unable to make, communicate, or carry out important decisions concerning his own financial affairs. During the time that Mr. Fritz is still recuperating and receiving treatment for his injuries, decisions need to be made regarding his care and placement. For the purpose of preventing immediate harm to him, it was determined that the appointment of a guardian and conservator was necessary. In addition to assisting Frank with his treatment for Crohn's disease, the guardian is responsible for bringing him to physical therapy sessions, as well as assisting him with grocery shopping and cooking. Reports of death. It was in August when death rumors began to circulate online, alleging that the former History Channel personality had passed away. "It's all a farce," the speaker said. At the time, a source told the United States Sun that they were unaware of the origin of the data. "Frank has been good, been eating ice cream and watching the Olympics." Pictures were relieving. As Frank was recovering from the traumatic back surgery that he underwent in March 2020, which left him with 185 stitches and 2 rods in his spine, he quit the program. This was the final episode of Frank's time on the show. Over the course of his vacation, Frank was able to shed 65 pounds and take steps toward leading a healthy lifestyle, including abstaining from alcohol. Mike said that he was officially terminated from his position in 2021, despite the fact that he had expressed his desire to return to the series following his absence. At the time, Mike expressed his sentiments by saying, "I will miss Frank, just like all of you, and I pray for the very best and all good things for him on the next part of his journey." A buddy of Frank's gave an interview to the United States Sun in 2023, discussing the events that had taken place behind the scenes. "My opinion is that he was not terminated. After a period of time, he returned to his residence and declared, 'I believe that I will be finished for a while.' I believe that he was experiencing burnout. This was a significant operation for his back," the insider claimed. In addition, Frank's friend stated that although Frank and Mike had a falling out following Frank's back surgery, this did not have anything to do with Mike's departure from the show. In the course of their commercial dealings, they engaged in disagreements and arguments over many matters. All of this is business. When it comes to business, Frank is well versed. Regardless of the choice that was passed, it was passed. From the insider's perspective, it wasn't all that big of an issue. Without regard to business, their friendship is quite satisfactory. They are doing ok. Today, their bond is as strong as ever. The two of them had known one another for 40 years. They are wonderful companions. It is true that they are two professionals in their field. Between the years 2010 and 2020, Frank was a contestant on American Pickers. A farmhouse was Frank's home in Davenport, Iowa, where he was born and raised. It was his guardian who assisted him in running the store Frank Fritz Finds while he was dealing with his medical troubles.